Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, I hate to be right, and I hate to say what I'm about to say, but it appears that the uh Peregrine lunar lander and the payloads have failed. Um, we will watch the watch the launch again that happened last evening. Um, and it's unfortunate because there were high hopes for this. Although I may not be a big fan of Boeing, uh, I always hope for the success of every space flight, especially this one. I was really hopeful for this one. So we watch the launch, and then I'll tell you what I think happened.
Six, five, four, three. We have ignition and liftoff of the first United Launch Alliance Vulcan rocket, launching a new era in spaceflight to the moon and beyond.
Coming up on 60 seconds into the flight, everything looking good. Two good engines, that max dynamic pressure, everything looking good. We're rolling off on the SRBs. And we have separation of both SRBs, everything looking good.
All right, so that is a kind of a quick recap of the launch last night. I think the problem happened about 7 minutes in. It happened almost initially, as you saw that slide off the pad. My personal thought is there was too much. Just my personal thought. There was the BE4 engines from Blue Origin overperformed. Which some people think, oh, great, they overperformed. No, in such a in such a perfect system like space, um, you don't want to overperform. You want to know what your performance parameters are, and you want to stick very, very closely to them. Um, I contend that they overperformed. They put it into a higher orbit than they were hoping for, and that it took them some time, and they burnt fuel trying to save it essentially, and that was not terribly successful. Um, the official the official word is an anomaly. Um, and we have successfully reestablished communications with Peregrine after known communication blackout. The team's improvised maneuver was successful in reorienting Peregrine's solar array towards the sun. We are now charging the battery. So there looks like there could have been a couple different things here. Again, my personal thought is they overperformed, put it into a higher orbit than they were expecting. Um, they then lost contact with the rover because it wasn't where it was supposed to be. Then they tried to reorient it to save it, and also charge the batteries, uh, because the battery would have ran out. Um, so this is a joint venture between United Launch Alliance, between some of the defense contractors, mainly being Boeing, they're the spearhead. Um, and I hate to say it, but I think it's official that this has failed. Um, the the payload, NASA had uh, a lunar rover. Of course, Amazon had their Kuiper constellation, 2 satellites for that. There were about 15 other scientific payloads that were going to the moon. Um, included were the first Latin American scientific instruments attempting to reach the surface. There were 5 very small moon rovers, each weighing less than 60 grams and about 12 centimeters across. Carnegie Mellon also had a rover on board. Um, and that's all replaceable. Those are all replaceable. Of course, they're going to take money, take time, but some of the things that can't be replaced or can't be replaced as easily. Well, this one can. There's a physical Bitcoin. I had no idea why. So these were going to be in the solar parking orbit. A physical Bitcoin, a Japanese lunar dream capsule that contained 185,872 messages from children around the world. It also had ashes of some of the members of the television show Star Trek. It also had other ashes, other DNA, and other biologics that were on board that are obviously not replaceable. But it does look like they have failed. So memorial payload containing the remains and DNA of several people associated with Star Trek, including actors James Doohan, DeForest Kelley, and Nichelle Nichols. It did not blow up. So here's this is again just me talking. I don't know for certain. I haven't reviewed all the data. ULA is not going to give me all the data, so I have to speculate. I saw significant overperformance from the BE-4 from Blue Origin, the new engines that were on the bottom. You saw significant overperformance with the start of the rocket, how it kind of slid off the pad. You then got a call out at about 7 minutes into flight that there was the telemetry was off nominal. And they were trying to fix that. So those are a couple things that have the potential or could have potentially been an issue later in the flight. So I think they overperformed. They got too high in their orbit. They lost their orbital track or their orbital plan for the mission. They tried to fix it. Probably did a retro burn, something like that. I haven't seen the burn schedule, so I don't know that either. Of course, they're not releasing that kind of thing. I think they burnt their fuel and don't have enough to recover. So it was kind of an emergency. Well, we have to try and fix it. Tried to fix it, and it was not successful. So where it goes from here, I don't know if they're going to try and park the orbit. I don't know how much fuel they have left on board. The one thing I can say with a pretty high degree of certainty is that it's not going to be on the moon. Like it will not make it to the moon. And ULA will not be the first commercial space program to land a payload on the moon for the United States. So nothing blew up. It was an error. I know for a fact. I know one of the things for certain is that due to the orientation of the craft, probably because it was ahead of schedule, ahead of its nominal trajectory, it lost power. They spent a significant amount of fuel reorienting it towards the sun so they could extend the onboard solar panels and try and charge the batteries. So it seems like there was multiple failures that kind of cascaded. So it's unfortunate. It truly is. I have made no secret about my dislike of Boeing, but I wish that everybody succeeds, and I wish that all spaceflight could be successful. But in the words of the great Elon Musk, rockets are hard. So, I think it's unfortunate for, like I said, the biologic payloads and the payloads that are not replaceable. Also, there's some question with Astrobotic. They kind of went all in on this mission, and it doesn't seem like they're going to get a return. So that is it. I just wanted to update if there's if there's more, I'll certainly report on it. I don't know that we're going to get a whole lot of more information or up-to-date information. But NASA alone was the primary. They paid $108 million for this ride. And like I said, there were secondary and tertiary customers that also hitched a ride on this unsuccessful rocket. So that's kind of where we're at. It's unfortunate. Rockets are hard. Getting to the moon is hard. And just to recap, this was the certification launch of the new ULA Vulcan Centaur. So to say that it wasn't successful isn't the craziest thing. Again, you wish that it would have been successful, but it was not. So stay tuned for more details. Tonight, we have a SpaceX Starlink out of Vandenberg Air Force Base at around midnight Eastern. And then we have the Long March 3C from the Chinese space program that is taking up a satellite this evening, and that will be around 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. So, if you're into rockets like I am, please join us for those two launches. I hope to see y'all later. Have a good day, y'all.